Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, sans Joe Weston in the studio today. Dark Side of the Stream. Joe has put us on blast until we're done with Unsolved Mysteries. He's boycotting us.
Is he boycotting it?
Well, He's like, I'm not done with I'm not doing that
How
crap.
come he gets the boycott? I wanted the boycott.
Well, one
this
of you
thing.
have to be here, and
All right,
sorry.
Let's combine the two.
So we're to the last two episodes in the series, Lady in the Lake and Stolen Kids. So for the first half, we're going to do Lady in the Lake. Second half, we're going to do Stolen Kids, and then move on to something else. Lady in the Lake, you remember this one? The woman who went to the church, and then
another one, super mysterious.
Yeah, really
Real weird.
And there were a lot of suspects in this one. Could have been a jaded lover,
was the ex-husband,
possibly her brother or cousin or something.
Yeah,
over,
that was a shady character too. Yeah, there was.
I mean, and it's so weird because of the way, a lot of these and a lot of these come down to.
Shabby police investigation.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're going to say? Because that's what I was going to say. It just seems like that's it. Shabby police investigation.
They ruled it as a suicide. They think she just left church, walked down wearing high-heeled boots in the snow, which they proved that it's literally impossible to do. She actually had bruises on her that were consistent with the struggle. She'd filled her car's gas tank shortly before her disappearance, and there was no hole in the ice or a current to the water to carry her body. Yeah, the purse thing.
Yeah.
The body was 30 miles away.
Filled her car up. Yeah, you're not going to fill your car up if you're going to commit suicide.
In the episode, all fingers pointed to her estranged first cousin because they said that there was money with inheritance and that she was the type of person that wouldn't involve anyone in what's going on. So that's why there was so much mystery, is because no one really knows what was going on. Obviously,
but she had a private detective she was calling, like she was protection,
saying that she was
security.
being followed.
Yeah, like.
And,
it's definitely not a suicide.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that her brother had some kind of shady business deals and may have owed money to certain people, and they went after her. Most cases, they're really not gonna do that. And the mob guys, they're not gonna go after some random sister. They're gonna go after you or your kids or your immediate family. So. Also, again, the other one could have been her ex-husband, who was really upset that he had left her. They had, separated after 25 years. And again, this all came back to a private investigation. And it's a really weird episode. We'll talk more next Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, discussing episodes 5 and 6, Unsolved Mysteries, Season 2. Right now we're talking about Lady in the Lake, about the woman that went missing after a church situation, and a lot of suspects, a lot of, I would say, loose ends in this case.
Yeah, and just weird that the police would rule it as a suicide so quickly. That's just, I don't understand that sometimes when you can look at, granted, some of these things could be biased, the information that we're getting, but just based on what you see in the documentary, it looks like you'd investigate it more.
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of the internet sleuths out there took to Reddit after this came out, and someone on Reddit actually pointed out, which I thought was interesting, they made a big deal about that rosary that she always kept on her everywhere, that had been given to her by her brother John, who had the shady business dealings. That was one of the things missing from her body. And I think that's interesting. Maybe that's something of note to send him a message saying, hey, this is what happened.
Wow.
Then I guess it's like one of those things where you look at these families and they're just, the kids of this woman had nothing but good things to say about her. Yeah. But then you look in the outside families, and it's just like, man, money can just destroy anybody. That's the problem.
Money can screw stuff up, man.
It's really, really interesting, and I think there were also a lot of Redditors that thought that her brother Bill was a possible suspect. And shortly before her death, Joanne and Bill talked about how to stop the family's infighting. And during the phone call, she told Bill that she didn't trust Tim, her cousin, who could have been a suspect. And in a disposition, he said that he felt Tim was a good guy and that he didn't understand her distrust. The viewers believe that if Bill's loyalties were to Tim, he may have played a role and they were in on it together.
Ooh, plot thickens.
But again, the facts of this case are, and I wholeheartedly believe that this was not a suicide.
Right? Yeah. Watch it, and see what you see what you
think.
guys.
But I don't think a woman could have walked down that embankment in the ice in high heels and then somehow miraculously floated 30 miles away in a river or a lake that's literally got no current at all.
Yeah,
like there's no way. Especially when they were doing the investigation that night when she was missing. Like the whole family went out and they started looking for her. And all they found was the vehicle and the tracks that just kind of end. So it's it screams struggle. It screams bad news. And there were a few in this season that I hope get solved. And that's what we'll be talking about next.
Yeah, it'd be great if people come forward on some of this stuff.
Sure.
You know?
Definitely the death row fugitive that's been on the run. This one. And, of course, the one we're going to talk about next, Stolen Kids in NYC, Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens, Dark Side of the Stream. Now we're to the final episode of Unsolved Mysteries
We made it
Season
through
2.
these things.
God,
I
man.
can't wait to move on.
Probably going to do My Octopus Teacher next. Jay's just been harping
My
on
Octopus
me.
Teacher's a really good one,
I think that's
guys.
what we're probably going to do next.
Watch My Octopus Teacher.
We'll confirm that in the last break.
It's visual. It's just visually good.
Most of the outdoor animal ones are.
Yeah, it's really good. And you never knew octopuses were so kick-ass,
Oh, dude, they are. Smarter than hell.
Incredible.
Smarter.
But this one here, the final episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Stolen Kids. This one was
Stolen
tough.
Kids in New York. I hate this kind of stuff that we watch,
dude,
man.
it's tough. You are a father just like I am.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any one of those situations where you've been in public and your kid's just like gone for a second and your just heart sinks?
My oldest daughter claims I lost her once at Universal Studios in the kid land, but I think I knew where she was at. But she still to this day claims that I lost her.
Dad lost me at U City.
Lost her. Yeah, I was talking to chicks or
I'm
something.
sure
but
you were.
I keep an eye on my kid. I've got 3 daughters. I haven't lost one yet. So, 31 years, I haven't lost one yet.
Good job.
So.
I luckily have not. So far, so good with the eldest or the youngest. But I also understand like that feeling when that happens. It's
there's a moment
crazy.
of panic.
Yeah. My brother actually got lost on a hotel in a hotel elevator when we were kids.
That's freaky.
And he just didn't get off, and we were like going to the pool or something, and he just kept riding. My mom lost her mind.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
But he was just sitting there on the elevator.
I was at Sam's Club last Sunday. And props to my kid for even spotting this out. We were walking the aisle, and there was a little girl, like walking between not an aisle, but like between the stuff, like almost as if it was like a cave or something, you know?
Yeah, we did that.
And my kid goes, "Does that little girl look, where's her parents or something?" And I was like, there was like no parents around. I was like, "You're right." So I was like watching her, and we just kind of kept an eye, and we went around this side, and it looked like some other lady kind of caught on too and was like, "Where are your parents?" And like the parents were like nowhere to be found. So I'm like, well, I ain't leaving this kid's side, until we find the parents. So we're there, and then finally like some Russian girl with like 3 other kids comes on. She's like, "Oh, thank you guys, thank you." And like was way far away from this kid, man. It's like,
scary,
really man.
Scary. Some of the theories about these disappearances was that there could have been possibly a ring of the adoption, stealing babies for adoption, black market adoption, stuff like that. Also, another thing is, and this is something I've always believed in, there was a huge uptick in serial killings and murders in like the 70s and 80s. And you know why that is? Well, at least one of the theories is that lead in gasoline, a lot of lead.
Yeah, I've heard the same theory.
And that the pollution and stuff just made people that were already unhinged go a little bit further unhinged, which you see the numbers. And I mean, you can blame media, you can blame movies and all that stuff, music, whatever you want, but science is science, and there definitely is a correlation between that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel for these parents because I couldn't even imagine what they're going through. I mean, all these years later, still not knowing.
And then that one was found years later, she figured out she was
when they were showing that it happens. Yeah, it happens.
I remember that story when it was on the news,
It does happen. And
all these years later, she's like, "Wait a minute. You're not my mom."
Then Unsolved Mysteries stuff has definitely helped reunite some of those cases, especially from these shady adoption things and people that get stolen and then realize like something's not right here, and then they go find them years later. I mean,
it's a bold move to steal a kid. It's an even bolder move to steal a kid and then try to play it off like it's your kid. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
then live the rest of your life.
That's a crazy play,
I don't know how
dude.
I can't.
That's a tough play,
I cannot
man.
go and steal the last piece of pie and not tell my wife because I feel guilty. And I couldn't even imagine trying to live with something like the person you tell is your child is someone you stole from another family.
I just hate things that mess with kids.
I know, man.
I don't like
That's
watching
why
these
I
things
wanted
that
to
mess with
get
kids.
over this one. Dark side of the stream, stolen kids. Hopefully they find what happened to these children. We're going to talk next about what our next path for Dark Side of the Stream is on 104.7 The Cave.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
104.7 The Cave is Springfield's pure classic rock. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens. We've come to the conclusion of our Unsolved Mysteries Season 2.
We are done bringing everybody down for the past 4 weeks.
We did it.
We are going to move on to happier territory. And I'm not going to pick one that's going to make you guys get mad. Like everybody called in and told me, what did I make them watch this show?
Thank you for indolling me, letting me go through Unsolved Mysteries. I know you guys were like,
It was just a little slow for me. That's all. That was all. But
where are we going next, bud?
My Octopus Teacher. It's on Netflix, and it's an amazing feel-good story. Long story short about what it is, a guy goes out diving in Australia or South Africa, and he comes across an octopus. And then he thinks to himself, I wonder what would happen if I came out here every day and hung out with this octopus. And it begins this bond, and it's like a love story. It's crazy. But the
octopus a chick?
Yeah. Yeah, it's deep, dude.
So I see a little love in your eyes
deep.
there. Jay Stevens falling for an octopus?
Yeah, man. It gets warm fuzzies, guys. But you never know how the life of an octopus is so amazing. And just check it out, man.
Marine life is unbelievable to me. I mean, you think about the oceans and how much covers and how much we haven't. You know,
true alien style. These little things, man.
That's what I'm
how
saying.
They change
dude,
color, like to fit in.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you right now. If I was a UFO alien guy, and I mean,
you'd be looking to see.
Yeah,
well, that's what they say. They see these big things. In Hawaii, there's a lot of sightings that come out of the water too.
Yeah,
like
why wouldn't
UFOs.
you? We can't go down there. We can't see everything. It'd be the perfect cover.
And that Fravor thing, he says there was something under the water that these little Tic Tac things were flying that they were like
I don't know.
near.
I'm telling you, there's stuff underwater.
But My Octopus Teacher, it's 4K and it's beautiful, like footage.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
We'll be happier next week.
I'm going to be in a good mood. Dark Side of the Stream. You can stream it anytime. 1047thecave.com or on our 104.7 The Cave app.